Staff bots have always stood out to me because of how cool but mysterious they are. Ruin added more questions to their story, so today we're going to be diving into it a bit and seeing if we can come to a conclusion on Security Breach's robotic employees. Let's establish something. There was a point in time when staff bots of this majority didn't exist, and I think at the time of Security Breach, it was recently. We are told through some of the collectible notes that human employees existed at the Pizzaplex, but it seems that they were mostly fired after an all-staff meeting. In one of the notes, all employees are told that the meeting will take place Thursday night at 11:30 PM and that attendance is mandatory. They are lured in with the promise of cake, and it's implied in the question note that if they don't go, they will be fired. From that same note, we can get an idea of what these human employees were being put through at the Pizzaplex. The staff member asking the question in the note says that they are working a 14-hour shift that day, so it makes you wonder if long shifts like this were the norm at the Pizzaplex. Now let's focus on Ruin, the free DLC for Security Breach. One of the first characters we meet gives us a mask, which is the main gameplay mechanic of the entire story, as it lets us see things in an AR world. One of the things that we get a look at in this AR world is the inside of a staff bot, and more importantly, the inside of their head, which has what appears to be a human brain inside of it. Like I've mentioned in the past, and like I will mention again later in this video, Steelwheel loves environmental storytelling. This was clearly put in to hint towards how the staff bots work and what their deal is. And skipping ahead to Help Wanted 2, one of the endings has us give that mask to Cassie from the perspective of Maskbot, from the perspective of the player character, an employee of the Pizzaplex. And I feel like we should take a second to feel remorse for the staff member who got stuffed into Maskbot of all things. But focusing at the topic at hand, there is more evidence that something bad happened at that all-staff meeting. In Security Breach, we can visit the employee cafeteria, where we can assume that the meeting took place, and it's certainly looking worse for wear. The Pizzaplex was still open for business at this point, so for the cafeteria to look this bad is certainly concerning. This makes me think that the firing of the employees was quite recent, because surely this would have been cleaned up as to avoid anyone finding out the true story. To me, it looks like the employees try to fight for their lives. Tables are flipped to hide behind, objects have been thrown to slow aggressors down, but in the end it was all for nothing as the bad guys won. And I believe that this is when human staff were fully replaced by staff bots. I mean, it's even implied for the one screen in the room that reads, "Don't ask why animatronics, ask instead why not more animatronics." It was a dark foreshadowing of what was about to come to the employees who read that sign, and an indication to us, the player, as to what actually went down in that room. But then, if this was recent and staff bots existed in some capacity before this incident, what relevance do the employees have nowadays? Well, I don't think they have much, but I think this is just another indication as to Fazbear Entertainment's disturbing experiments. One area of Security Breach that has always been terrifying to me is the sewers, and I think that looking down there is how we can further expand this theory. In the sewers, there are discarded staff bots that look like they have been down there for some amount of time due to the state that they're in, with evidence that Fazbear Entertainment may have been experimenting with things like Remnant due to the existence of a skipper and an unknown glamrock power source. What if these staff bots that are down here were early versions of the possessed staff bots? That would give a logical reason for the tear streaks on their faces, the ones that are similar to those seen on the puppet. And what do we know about the puppet's tear streaks? The security puppet, before it was possessed, didn't have them. So what if these are trying to indicate these experiments with possession? Of course, the question then needs to be asked, why doesn't every staff bot have these tear marks? And that's something that we'll have to work out an answer to, but I feel like this is definitely something to build on, especially the fact that they jump scare you and kill you, because regular staff bots don't, they just alert nearby animatronics. I feel like the fact that these ones in particular are lethal is an important note, or just game design, who really knows. But listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I feel like the story Steelwheel is trying to tell right now is not only that of the Mimic, but also that of the disturbing lengths that Fazbear Entertainment will go to in order for their company to be successful. If you haven't watched my video on the scooper hidden under the Pizzaplex, I highly recommend doing so, as it ties into my idea for the future of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. As always, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if you think this makes any sort of sense. Thank you all for 200 subscribers, and to those who haven't subscribed yet, it would be great to have you here as part of my journey. So if you like what you see, stick around, it'll be fun, I promise. But anyways, I'll see you next time.